All right. Well, let's say, I don't know, maybe 2 more minutes, a few more minutes. Okay. It's only 8:03. It almost seems to be like daylight savings, no matter what, 8:10 is when most of you seem to join class. And yeah, we could make it like daylight savings, class starts at 8:10 every time. And then you guys will start coming in at 8:20, I guess. So who's your, all right, you guys you're dribbling in. I can see the, participant list grow, but it's not like everybody's pouring into class, like one every few minutes, maybe. Well, okay. Well, we don't have to just, sit around, not doing anything at all while we're waiting for the other people to come in. We could potentially talk about things that you are, finding confusing. Um, yeah, any other topics you want to talk about, that's fine. Just go ahead. Let me know. Oh, wow. I'm so happy I opened up my old trackpad. The batteries are leaking in there. It's this end. It's kind of cool, right? I mean, so when Apple designs these trackpads, I'm pretty sure they put some thought into it that the negative terminal of the battery should be closer to the place where you unscrew it. And I think it makes sense because when a battery leaks, most of the time I've found that the leak happens at the bottom, not at the top. So you can imagine if the battery started leaking at the top, the positive terminal, that's way in there and I can't reach it at all, right? Without dismantling. It'd be a real bummer. So this way I just need to clean the knob and put it back. Well, not that I use this, but all the same. Good to have a backup that's working. All right, so you guys, let me put this away. All right, so you guys have any questions that you'd like to talk about? Also, you can feel free to chime in about topics you want to cover today. I think the tentative backup plan I had for today was we'll take the code that I think a couple of people last class worked on. I think it was Wen and one more. Who came after Wen last class? Was it Rizzo? Rizzo, you took another chance? Oh, Rizzo's not here. Okay, Rizzo hasn't joined yet. Okay. So yeah, a couple of people worked on some code last class, and I'd like to pick up the same code. I don't know if we have access to that code. Now, Rizzo's not here, and when are you here? Yeah, Wen is here. Yeah, we've got to get our hands on that code somehow. And I'm thinking, what can we do? All right, so we'll take that code. Well, I got to look at the code to see what we did. I've actually forgotten. I think we did destructors and static variables, right? This is 2 days ago, right? I think what we can do today is work on the toString, the serialization. Okay, serialization. I can also talk about file IO. Because we know about CN and iString stream and so on. So it's, file string stream, file stream. So we can do file stream. And I think that when we've done that, which should happen around the halfway point in today's class, we should be done with those ideas, those concepts. And then I think we should be in a position where we can do some interesting experiments that will actually use the power of the computer to do something that is a pain for humans, really, where we can try and build. Well, I won't go into the details. I have an idea in my head, which I think is it's not completely fleshed out, but I think that it will be interesting, right? I think it'll be interesting at the very least, to code and also play with after coding. So I think it should be fun. We'll see if we can make any major headway with that. I mean, that's if you guys don't have any other interesting ideas to work on, okay? So yeah, feel free to ask any questions that you may have about these things. Any topics and issues that you'd like me to cover? Any questions and doubts you have about stuff that we've already done? That's fine too, right? So yeah, so those are the things that we can do. And by the way, yeah, Wan, I saw your name in the chat list, so thanks. By the way, we only have 5 more lectures to go for the end of the quarter, to the end of the quarter, right? Because this is week 8, this is the end of week 8, so we have 9, 10, 11, 12, yeah? So not 5 really, right? Now we have, this is week 8, is it week 8 or week 9? Week 9 this week. I think it's week 8, right? It's, before Thanksgiving, the second week of November, usually week 8, yeah. And Thanksgiving falls on the Thursday, which is a bummer because we lose a lecture for Thanksgiving, and I so enjoy these lectures. I'm pretty sure you guys do too. So we'll play it by ear. And if you guys want a class on Thanksgiving Day morning, right? The morning, right? It's only the evening when we get together with our friends and have dinner. So if you want to have a class on Thanksgiving Day morning, which is not next week, it's actually the week after, isn't it? So the Thursday of not next Thursday, Thursday after. I'm happy to give you a class, okay? Assuming that there are still ideas and concepts that we haven't covered, which I very much doubt, right? Because I think at this point, we've covered most of the important building block concepts. And then the rest of this quarter, I want to just take to play with the blocks and build things and interesting things. And hopefully also have a bunch of demos from you guys. And those of you who've already sent me code that you want to demo that use all of the concepts and multiple concepts, but not concepts that we haven't covered in 2A, right? There may be concepts in 2B and 2C. I don't want to cover those concepts in demos that we have in 2A. I don't think it's as useful for the majority of the students, right? Maybe 1 or 2 other students may benefit from it, but if it's not useful for the majority of the students, I don't think we should do it. So instead, what we'll do is use week 10. Yeah, we only have 1 lecture, technically in week 11. So given that we have 4 more weeks left, 9, 10, 11, 12, and I'm not allowed to teach in week 12. So it's effectively only 3 weeks. I only have 3 weeks to talk to you. That's 6 classes, of which we've lost a class to Thanksgiving. So it's 5 classes. There's only 5 classes left, okay, before your exams and the holidays. So you should make the most of it. Ask up, and ask me to talk about topics that you are interested in hearing about. I'm happy to do those things. And also, right, I mean, before the exams, just before the exams, or just after if you want, if you want a general class, right, just touching upon CS, not really hardcore CS, but touching upon CS, but more to do with situations in your life right now that are that may be related to your education, to your learning, right? Especially CS, really, because that's where I have a great deal of experience. But I'm happy to talk about generally, issues in your life that impact your ability to participate and learn in any class, right? It doesn't have to be CS, maybe history, art, ceramics, math, any class, right? And if you have situations in your life that are affecting the way that you can engage in these classes and get use out of them, I'm happy to talk about techniques that have worked for me in my personal life, have worked for students that I have shared these techniques with, and they've come back to me and said, yeah, okay, that actually worked. I managed to learn something that I might not have learned that way if I didn't follow that, right? So I'm happy to talk about those things if you're interested, but not during a regular 2A class, okay? I think our 2A classes we should just keep to discuss technical matters and stuff that are directly relevant to C++ programming at 2A level, right? But if you want these other related matters to be talked about, I'm happy to make a time. I'm happy to make a time when most of you are able to get together, right? So maybe you guys get together on Slack or some other forum and say, well, I'd like to I have a bunch of questions I'd like to talk about with Anand in an informal class. And you don't have to tell everybody those questions before you pop them during the session. So you can say, I have 4 questions, 5 questions, I have 1 question. And you express your interest, and someone could coordinate a time, right? Working with you guys and find that, and then someone could tell me there's 7 or 8 of us that have questions that we'd like to ask, and we're all free at 7 p.m. or 6 p.m. or over dinner even. You guys are eating dinner, and say, can you give us a brief class? It may not be a whole 2 hours, maybe half an hour, 20 minutes, how to deal with exam predicaments, and I'm happy to do that. Okay, so yeah, I think we're coming along very nicely. To be absolutely honest, I'm very pleased with the level of progress I'm seeing. Right? I mean, I look at the forums and I look at these posts you're making, or at least did make, a while ago, several weeks ago, when you projected the impression. I don't know if it's true or not, but some of you went ahead and posted notes giving the impression that you are total noobs, right? You have no idea what the hell is going on. You don't know about programming. You don't know about computers. You don't know what C++ is. And then I think, oh my gosh, we got to get a lot of people up to speed before we start talking about more in-depth stuff. And then I find that's not the case, right? I mean, I'm not blaming you. I'm actually happy. I'm happy that it's not the case. I mean, you guys, even though you are saying things like, I'm totally out of my depth, I'm dying here, but when I put you on the spot, or when you put yourself on the spot and try to code, and I look at your coding style and things like that, and I can see that it's okay. It doesn't really matter if I teach you or not. You're going to pick this up anyway, right? I'm just here as icing on the cake to nudge you from here, from time to time. So I'm reasonably reassured that you guys have it together, right? I mean, barring external circumstances, I mean, you can be the best in the world, but there could be a situation in your life when you're not able to discharge your best abilities, right? I mean, circumstances could conspire to have everything go against you, right? Things happen like that, right? And then it would be unfair for anyone really to say that this person is a bad learner just because they didn't learn during during these 12 weeks out of the 100 years of their life. They didn't learn well, so they're a bad learner. All right, so how much time do we have? All right, we're at 8:17, and I think we have a bunch of students in class, right? I'm going to start now, and then we can pick up Wen's program and go with it, and maybe Flavio, who wanted to go before, can pick up the code, because everybody else. Hey, Adam, have you been on screen before?
Yeah, I've been, but not in the like past like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Oh, you have. Okay. All right. So we have a bunch of people. I think Nicholas or Rizzo's here too. Momo. Yeah, most of you have been on screen already. The only person I don't remember is, well, I mean, Nicholas said he can't because he's doing something else, simultaneous multiplexing. Flavio, maybe. Flavio, were you on screen also? Flavio? Oh, yes, yes. Flavio
A
said.
few days ago, yeah.
Okay. All right. So in that case, it's pretty much open at this point. Chan or Daniel or Andy or anyone, right? The first person to pipe up in the chat window can grab Wen's code. Any of you, right? Even if you've been up here before, because you've all had a chance to go up on screen, on stage, right? So the first person to pipe up in the chat window saying I'd like to go can basically take the screen, and then ask when for the link. I don't, not when. Yeah, okay. Well, Daniel, you have to go because you were the first person who piped up. Okay, so you got to go, and then you want to check with. Yeah, well, Giorgio, too bad. You go after Daniel. Okay, Daniel will do half of it, and then he'll pass it on to you. Not when. Rizzo's here. I believe Rizzo was the last person to code last class. Was it Rizzo? Yeah, it was Rizzo, right? You were on a beach or something, and I thought you were on a beach. Why is Rizzo not talking? I saw him in the participants list. Rizzo, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay,
Uh,
all right, cool. Can you share your Replete link in the chat window so Daniel can pick it up and then share the screen, and then we'll run with it. Okay. Do you have it? Why it is deafening silence? Are you searching for your link? Rizzo.
sorry, my microphone was turned off.
Okay.
Sorry, I was talking.
Right. No worries. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. Rizzo's shared his link. Daniel will pick it up, and then we'll start coding inside of it. Actually, I don't know what we're going to start coding, but once the code is up on screen, we'll look at it, and then I think I'll remember some of the ideas I had. Okay, and of course, those are not the ideas we're going to code. I'll say what I have in mind, and then if you guys have other ideas, you can chime in, and then we may pick one of those ideas out there. Okay, so right now we're just waiting for Daniel to pick up the code. Hey, Daniel, are you there?
Yeah, yeah. I think I got the code copied.
Well, you got to do it in Replete because I think it's easier for us to basically relay, pass the code on from one person to another after we're done. If
Okay.
you put it into
I
your
can
own
I
IDE,
can
then
REPL it. It's just that my browser has some conflict with the Vim style key bindings, and I can't do without Vim style key binding.
okay, no worries. Okay, so after this, when you're done with this, you can just copy the whole thing and paste it into the Replete window.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll share my screen. So I have the code copy. Let's share this, and we can fold.
Okay. Is it possible to change the default um, coloring of the IDE? Because I think you have light blue on blue, right?
Yeah. Hold on. Let's see. Um. So it's.
I can read it.
I don't remember the exact
It's not jumping out at me, but I can read it. And if other people can read it, we'll just go with this.
I can't remember the exact command I need to change it because this is actually Emacs.
Okay. All right.
Hilariously enough, this is Emacs.
Yeah, I think you may, well, don't worry about it now. I think you may just have to set it in the terminal, right? Because if it's Emacs, it's probably just inheriting the terminal settings. But anyway,
I'm using the graphical.
oh, you're using the GUI Emacs.
Yeah.
Well, okay, you can figure that out later. I can read it. I can read it. Can the other people read it? This is because the blue on blue is usually hard for some people.
I mean, it's solarized. I mean, it got popular for a reason.
Right. Okay. All right. So, well, I can't hear. I can't see. I can't. Nobody else is really piping up. Yeah, Momo says he can see it. Okay, this is so one person can see it. Okay, one other person can see this code.
It's all right.
Rezo, yeah, obviously you can see it. Yeah. Oh, no, Rezo can see it too. All right, good. So let's go with this. What did we do? Let me see what we did before. Let's see. Wait. My video window is there. I can grab it. It wasn't letting me grab it before. In fact, I'll put it on this side. Okay, just cover up your nav. Yeah, the project navigator is not as important. Okay, why is I can't scroll? I gotta do this. Okay, yeah, so there's a whole bunch of us here. Let's take a look at my code. I want to see what's in there. Okay, can you scroll up? Okay, so we got foods and names. So we just create a bunch of paths and we set random foods, random names, random age. Okay. All right. So I'm thinking what we can do is the first thing we can do is create a method called toString. Okay, the toString method is a public method. It is called a serializer. Right, this is a technical term, a jargon really, that you can see if you can remember, because you'll see it a lot. But people are increasingly starting to just refer to serialization in certain contexts, right? Not all contexts. I mean, in some cases, serialization is the word that actually makes the most sense. But in other places, people just say, do a toString. Okay, so we're going to do a toString. So first, declare a public method called a toString. Yeah, you've done it already. Okay, right there. Actually, you have a comment called setters there. So separate toString into a separate paragraph, because those 3 lines are,
Also,
okay. So
I get a little obnoxious with the 2 space, because everything's 2 spaced in Replit, but I use 4 spaces. So yeah.
I see. Yeah.
So I'll just have to fight the editor a bit, but that should be fine.
Right. Okay, that's fine. Well, you can just get used to it. You can, it's handy to be used. It's handy to be accustomed to multiple styles. Usually, I find, because then it saves you a great deal of groundwork before working on someone else's code. Right. In the early days of my own programming life, what I used to do was whenever I inherited someone else's code, I'd spend a great deal of time just reformatting the code and changing it. And I think that's like in several hours sometimes, because large projects, several hours. And then when I check it in, I have to make sure it's a bit of a pain. So it is a useful skill to have, I find, as a software engineer. It's good to have your own style as you're picking up the language and features. But once you are comfortable with the language and the features, I find it very useful to pick up what I call meta skills, right? They're not programming skills, but they're meta skills, meaning they're skills that will help you be a better programmer, right? Not just, and one of these meta skills is basically learning to be comfortable with multiple styles, multiple editors, multiple things, right? Because, once you're comfortable with programming, you got time to explore these things. And it helps you a lot. I find, because then you can just pick up any book and read it, right? You can't say, oh, I only like poems by T.S. Eliot, or you can just pick up any of these things, and because you're now familiar with how many different people express themselves. Okay, all right. So about toString annotation. Yeah, okay. So what is the point of the toString method? So we want to create a method called toString. which will return a nicely formatted string that contains all of the data that's buried inside of pet, right? So first of all, let's do a very, very bad toString, and then we'll try and polish it up, okay? So let's do a really brain dead and stupid toString, which really outputs the pet object, but not in a way that's useful for humans, right? But it's basically just going to say toString is going to create a string and return all the three fields, right up against each other, all run into each other, one string with all the values, and it's going to be a real mess. We'll get it and print it out, and then we'll go in and try and fix it up, okay? So so in order to return a string, here's the easiest way I've found, right? This is the easiest way I've found to make and return a string, rather than have string objects and concatenate and convert each one to string. It is a real pain, okay? It's a real pain. So you'll find this will be very helpful in your scripts as well. Yes, thank you very much. Daniel is actually thinking like 2 or 3 steps ahead, okay? So so what he's done, what he's going to do is going to create a string stream, okay? You're going to create a string stream, and then he's going to stick everything that we want into the string stream. And when we're done from the string stream, you can say, hey, string stream, give me the string of you, and it'll return a string. And that's what we're going to return, okay? So yeah, okay. So in between those two lines, yeah. So go ahead and say SS double less than this dot. No, it's S. That's all good. Yeah. Go to the next line. Yeah, one more line. Yeah, okay. So you want to say SS double less than, right? And then the 3 fields of pad, just stick them in there, right there, like just like a this arrow age, this arrow name, this arrow population, less than, right? Yeah. Yeah, and then return it. I think what was the last thing? Oh, it was just name, and we didn't have anything else. Oh, favorite food. Okay, all right, favorite food. Thank you. All right. So do you still have a red tab on 78? Oh, it's gone.
Okay, there it is. I just had to default initialize it.
Well, I don't know if the new way of declaring objects is picking up in the community, but the bulk of the code I see out there initialize the object on the declaration line just with a plain semicolon, or in some cases, when you want to make it very, very explicit, you want to call it the default constructor, then you have the open close parentheses. So I would prefer, if you don't mind, to keep everything in the same style, to just get rid of the open close, open close parentheses, open close braces. Yeah. Okay, so that's good. So that means it'll call the default constructor. Okay, you can also do it the way that Daniel did it. So in a large project where you have to do lots and lots of declarations of objects, you can consider doing that. You can be aware that that style is also available to you, right? So you can initialize things like.
So just a note, when we're done with creating a method, I'll just to regex use regular use my editor to just turn the 4 spaces into 2 spaces.
Yeah. Okay, you changed it.
I'll change it at the end because
Okay. All right, that's fine. Well, you don't have to change it. As long as everything is consistent, the next person to pick it up will basically just be okay with it. You can just do it now if you want. Okay.
Yeah, it's not going to be easier because I can just do it with visual block mode.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Now in your main, you're going to say, go to your main method, where you print out all the pets instead of on line 94. Yeah, line 94. You would say pets of I.toString. That's it. You get rid of the whole line and then toString, and then you can get rid of everything else. Right now, in your toString, you're not returning a new line, so you want to return a new line here. Insert a new line there. Even the next line, even the next line is part of that statement.
Oh, right. Sorry, I got a bit confused. Use on the layout of the.
There you go. All right, thanks. So if you get rid of the blank line, and then we can compile and run it, and then we'll see that it's going to do its thing, but it's going to look pretty unsightly. Yeah.
Mhm.
Where's your terminal? There, I see. Oh, I see your terminal here. Okay, there you see,
Also not
right?
fun.
In fact, yeah, ignore all the instrumentation we built into the kind of structures, okay? So you can see that it is, in fact, printing Lucy onions. Okay, all right, Lucy onions and Lucky Rice, raw milk. Okay, so yeah. All right,
Sort of
so
tell them apart.
Hmm?
You can sort of tell the parameters apart.
I'm sorry, what did you say? I didn't hear
You
you.
can sort of tell them apart, I guess. Like all like you can sort of tell the different parts of this apart.
Sorted. I mean, did you say sorted?
I like for the list of pets, you mean?
No. I didn't quite get what you were saying last.
Like
So
you can tell like the different parts of the pet object apart.
Oh yeah. That's right. You can tell it apart, but not in all cases, right? In this case,
Not
it
in all
works.
cases.
Yeah. In this case,
Like tomato pizza.
yeah. Well, in this case, it works. But I'm sure in some cases, if you had other pet names and other veggies, I'm sure that there'll be some ambiguity there. Okay. In fact, is there a vegetable that starts with an S? Can you think of a vegetable that starts with an S? Spring onions. I don't know. Spinach. Okay. So suppose you had Charles and spinach. No, not Charles and spinach. Can you think of a name that ends in an S and also not in an S? Right? I don't know. I'm thinking of a name for a person that is equally valid if you take off the last S, right? Like Charles, right? I don't know. Charles is not a name, but if Charles was a name and then you had Charles spinach, you wouldn't know if it was Charles spinach or Charles spinach. No, I don't know. All right, so because spinach. Yeah, you got to have a vegetable also where you can remove the first letter, and it's still.
I mean, I guess you could get
Yeah. But
Charles.
we can come up with these, right? I mean, given enough time, I'm sure we can discover a vegetable like that introduces the ambiguity. All right, so now we know how it works, right? So when you call toString, it's going to call that method and it's going to print these things. Now we can go into the toString method and tidy it up real nice and proper. Okay, so now you can say things like, pet, my pet whose name is this arrow name is this many years old and really likes that food. So there, or something like that. You can say whatever you want. Okay, just format it, and that's what it's going to print for every single pet that you ask to serialize. Okay, so do it as you like.
I'm actually gonna use a more
Okay, all right. He wants to do it the more boring way. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, because I'm playing that way.
All right.
And then I'm going to have this on its own line because for formatting reasons.
Yeah. So I kind of like what Daniel is doing here, not programmatically, stylistically, because and then you also will, what happens is that when you start typing in a line, you already know how long the line is going to be, and then you'll automatically start breaking it up and lining up things, right? So it's a good habit to get into. It makes your code far more easy to read.
That's oh, these commas need spaces, so I'm gonna make them comma space. These are replacing the string literals. Oh gosh, I'm making a mess.
That's okay. Just go ahead.
And should I include an endl, or should I just?
No, this is a very good question. Should a toString include an end line or not, right? And I think it is a very valid question. It's a very valid question that has plagued programmers and still continues to plague programmer all the way back from day one, right? In fact, I think if I remember correctly, right, I think there is a book on there's a book written by Kernighan, right? Kernighan or Thompson or Ken Thompson. Oh, Rob Pike. I don't know. You can look it up. I think it's called. In fact, I even forgot the name of the book. I think it's called the Unix operating system. I must have read it like 20 years ago, right? And in that book, I think Kernighan uh, or Pike spent almost a whole paragraph discussing whether the Unix command echo should print a new line at the end or not. Because you can make a completely valid pedantic argument that echo should not print a new line. Wait, hey, Daniel, can you get a terminal on your screen? Is that a full-fledged terminal? Yeah, okay, I think that's a Linux terminal. Yeah. Type echo hello world or something like that. Echo, yeah. So you see, Daniel is, what the hell happened there?
Yeah. And like
Wait, does it scroll all the way to the bottom when you hit that?
It's right here.
Yeah, but why did the screen scroll all the way to the bottom? When you hit connect, or it just, went to the bottom?
Hit enter. Oh, I just moved this up. I just resized the frame.
Okay. All right. So, so you said, echo hello world. Echo is a command that, we can write. It takes about 10 minutes, 5 minutes to write the echo command, really, right? And we can write it at some point if you want, because you just need to know about argc and argv. Actually, no, we won't do it because I think last quarter, someone wanted to know what these argc and argv are that the IDE automatically put into your main method parameters. And it wasn't in the syllabus. So I made a separate video with a quick demo of what argc and argv are. And I think I implemented the echo program there. And it's on our channel. It's on channel, and it's not like a 2-hour video, right? It's like a 5-minute or 10-minute video. So I would recommend that if you have time, click on it and watch it, because that shows you what argc, argv are and how to make use of them, right? But anyway, coming back to our the thing that we're talking about, echo is a command. And it's a very useful command, by the way, right? You may think that, all that echo does is basically echo back what you tell it, right? So you say this, and it says that, right? How useful is it? Is one of the most useful commands in Unix, believe it or not, right? And in fact, the echoing protocol itself is so useful that it is even part of the network communications, right? There is in fact a server on all of these machines. Every machine, whether it's a Mac machine or a DOS machine or a Unix machine, they all have a server, a silent program. A server is a daemon, right? Is a daemon in the sense that a daemon is a program that never dies, right? So all of these machines have a server that is sitting there alive in the background. In the background, you don't see it. It's because it's a daemon, right? You don't see it, but it's listening. It's alive and it's listening, and you can talk to it. So it's called the echo server. In fact, I'm tempted to see if there is an echo server on your machine, Dan. Is going to take a couple of seconds to find out. Is it okay with you if we try?
Okay.
All right. Type the command telnet, telnet. And space localhost. Localhost is another alias for the machine that you're currently logged into. Works on every single machine, right? Space. I think the echo server listens on port number 7. So space 7. Yeah, no, just 7. Enter. Yeah, okay. So the server is not running on your machine, and so let's see if there's another server. Connect to the questing server on the telnet to quests.nonlinearmedia.org. No, not ping. No, ping. I've disabled ping, I think. Right. So connect to right there on the same line. After your telnet thing, on the telnet, right? On the telnet in your command prompt.
You want me to open it in the web browser now? Yeah. So
yeah, there you go. So yeah, telnet quests.nonlinearmedia.org. Space 7. Oh, actually, it did connect. Type something and hit return. Oh, it's trying. It's not connected. Okay. All right. So it looks like it's, I don't have it running there either. Try google.com 7. Maybe Google has an open echo server. I doubt it, but you know. No, no. All right. So these days, because of internet security things and all, you know, everybody's got their Echo server shut down. But it's actually an integral part of network communications, or used to be, right? Back in the day, when you just needed to find out if a Google.com was live. Right now, these days, we just take it for granted, right? You just go to the HTTP server, which, you know, the HTTP server is a more reliable indicator that the server is alive these days than the Echo server. But in those days, before the time of HTTP, and we're just talking about 20 to 20 years, 30 years ago. Yeah, you can ping those, right? So HTTP wasn't there, and the best way to find out if a server was alive was to basically, you know, pinging is at a lower level. It's at the ICMP level, right? So TCP level, if the servers are listening, is to send it, is connect to the echo port. Right, and the echo port will basically echo everything back, which means that when you get things back, you know that the other person is alive, right? You write a letter and you get a reply, you know the other person is there. So that's the function of the echo server, and it was used to be so indispensable, right? And even in scripts that you write, right? If you write a script which has multiple commands in there, you can have echo to echo back to the user, saying, "Hey, this is your prompt. This is your prompt." So these are cool things, right? So Kernighan and Pike, I think they spent a great deal of words, right? There's a great number of words, almost a paragraph, discussing the pros and cons of whether echo should print a new line at the end. Because, you know, Daniel didn't say, when he said echo hello, he didn't say print hello and then also print a new line. No, he didn't say that, right? He just said print hello, and it printed a new line after that. That's a bummer, right? So so there was a discussion in the lab, not our lab, you know, at AT&T Bell Labs, I presume, and they finally decided that echo should print a new line, but people still want the ability for echo to not print a new line. So if you want to do that, you say echo space -n, okay? Now it'll print hello without the new line at the end. So the default behavior, oh, geez.
Maybe it's a capital N.
No, it's just slash. Well, in this case, put slash
Oh,
C at the end. This is the other way of doing this, right? Get rid of the -n and put slash C at the end of hello. Yeah. There's one other way. If this doesn't work, we'll just give up, right? Yeah, okay. I don't know. I don't know. You can try it on your own machines. But anyway, there's Echo does allow.
Let's try the
You
native
look at the manual
shell.
page. You can look at the manual page later, right? Echo does allow for you to print something out without the trailing new line, and it's a conscious decision.
Okay,
because
yeah, that's
default.
just E shell.
Hmm?
That's just the Emacs shell. I just tested it on the system shell and it works. It is -n. It's just E shell being.
Oh, you were in an Emacs shell before.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay, that explains
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Running on a Linux host, and we can just ignore this window.
All right. Great. Thank you, Daniel. All right. So. So you see that it's a valid question. Now, my feeling is that in C++, when you do a toString, you should only stringify what the user wants and not put the new line, because if you put the new line and the user did not want a new line at the end, right? Suppose a caller of your method did not want a new line at the end of the object, and you give him the, you know, the object with the new line at the end, it is far more difficult to get rid of the new line in the string than it is to get a string without a new line and then add it on yourself. Would you agree with that or not? You know, say yes. This is also your attendance call, right? Say yes in the chat window if you agree, or you can say no also, right? If you say no, we can talk about that.
I don't have access to the chat window. Oh wait, I do.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Put it into the attendance call now.
Yeah, so I think that is the rationale that eventually led the Unix designers, right? Primarily Thompson and and his team, I guess, right? To say that echo will in fact print a new line. The default is going to be always print a new line, even though the user didn't ask for it, because if they wanted a new line, if they, you know, damn, you know, in C++, forget that, right? So in C++, yeah, basically what I mean is you got to design the programs we design sometimes have to be designed with the most common use case in mind, right? But this is the priority, and the priority is that your program has to be correct first, right? It has to do its job, And then sometimes when you find 2 different ways in which you can do your job, that is the only time when you start looking at, well, I can do it this way or that way. Now, which is the most common use case, that's the way I'm going to do it, right? So at all times, correctness will trump. Correctness always overrides convenience, right? Convenience comes after convenience and speed. Convenience and speed come after. So if I were to think about it, this is the order in which I would put the design decisions, right? So correctness is always number one, right? Never ever code anything that is incorrect, even if it's slow, if it is not going to complete in the next couple of centuries, it's okay. As long as your algorithm is correct, that takes the highest precedence, okay? Correctness is number one. Don't bother about speed. No, speed, optimization, all of that is down the line. Get it correct first. Because, think about, when you're trying to learn to play the piano, right? Does your teacher say, play it fast first and then we can go and fix all the issues? No, right? If you play it fast, if you learn to play fast, you can play, really trashy song really fast, lots of mistakes really fast. So get the order correct first, and then slowly start speeding up as your muscles get faster and faster, right? When you're learning a complex dance piece, right? You don't start doing your fast movements immediately. You first get the sequence, the choreography, right? And the choreography, right? And then, do it 100 times, and then each time speed up by a millisecond, right? And eventually you'll get to do it really fast, but you won't be slipping, right? You won't have a misstep. And that's exactly the way you approach every single thing you try to learn, whether it's ceramics or programming, right? So in your programming, so what we do is get it correct first. After you've got it correct, then you look at optimization and see, well, can I make it faster? Speed considerations should always come after correctness considerations. So you try and make it as fast as possible within the constraints of what you can do. Then you start looking at, I have multiple options here. Which one should I do? Which one should I take? This is the one that users most commonly use my product for, so that's what I'm going to do, right? So you make that decision and then go back and speed up even more, right? So that is the order in which you develop a product. So correctness, speed, first cut speed, okay, convenience, and then second cut speed. That usually works. Anyway, in most of the products that I've designed, that's the template I've followed, and I think it's worked for me. Okay, so you're welcome to experiment. Okay, yeah, flexibility. Yeah, use case probably. Yeah, thank you, Augie. Yeah. All right, so yeah, there you go. If you print it out now, since you don't have a new line, you have a new line in your main, right? So you have a new line in your main.
Here's so. Yeah,
Why is the coloring all screwed up? At the end where you have years old, I see the D is red or pink, but here.
Oh, that is just. Then I still have to figure out how to get it to turn off the once it gets past a certain point, it just changes to that color.
I see. That's nice. So it's like a vertical bar in Xcode or IDEs that says, you have an 80 column margin on the right side.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I never thought that you could also do it this way. And this is actually much nicer because on Xcode you have a vertical line and then yeah, this looks nicer. I don't know, maybe. Okay, run it, and then we'll see that it actually prints everything nicely. There, okay, so you can see that it did everything. It's formatted things nicely. So that is your toString method, and that is how you serialize a pet. Now, if you are all happy with this and comfortable with the toString method, this is basically how you attach any method, right? It doesn't have to be toString. You can attach any damn method you want, right? You can have a method that utilizes only one of the fields of pet and does something, right? So maybe make the pet older, increments age, right? Or rename my pet, or change my pet's food preference. All of these, any method you want, you can write your own methods and knock yourself out. And that I would like to reserve for your own stuff that you will adapt this code and post in Reddit and in the forum. Say, hey, I took the program that we were working on in class. I did some other changes. I added some new methods. Here you are. Try it out, right? So you can do those things. But if you guys are okay with that, what I can show you now is how to insert a file into the mix. Meaning, well, by the way, file IO, I don't know. Is it part of the syllabus? I think it's not even part of the CID, the course descriptor um, from the government. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe file IO is there in the CID. Well, anyway, it's not going to take us more than 10 minutes to cover. And it's a useful thing to know. So we can do that. If you guys are okay with that, I can show you how to create a file and read from a file. And then we're going to take the pet object and then take the pet object and write it to a file, right? So in other words, where toString, what do you have? Cout, cout, right? Cout. Instead of cout, you're going to send it to a file. Inside of the console, you're going to send it to a file. And I'll show you that it is so simple. It is so simple that you can just do it, with your eyes closed. If you're interested, I can show you that. Otherwise, we'll go on to the next step, which is trying to implement some kind of interesting algorithm, which will almost look like a game, right? Which will look like a game. We'll take this and turn it into a mini game. By the way, Dan, so since you've got the code up here, can you also clean it up a bit by removing the instrumentation and the constructor and the destructor and all that stuff?
Okay, so like which ones should I remove?
I think in the constructor, you had default constructor was called, and then also
Like this one?
Yeah, Clay, so get rid of that cout line, comment it out or something. No, not the entire constructor. Just the cout. Comment out the cout line. Yeah, okay, all right, that's fine. And I think there's another line in the destructor. Okay. Now, if you run it, I think that. Oh, also, I think that you got an additional output at the very end. Current pet population is. You can leave it there. I don't think it matters. If you run it now, you should only see your toString output and then the last bit.
I really need to set this to a keyboard.
There you go. All right. So that's just that is exactly what the main method is outputting. So there you go. Now, is everybody interested? Is everybody interested in trying to see how you can handle files in here, or shall we just move on to? So the game I have in mind, which I haven't really fleshed out programmatically yet, but I think it should be eminently feasible to do in class, is that when you create a pet, the pet will have a bunch of food items in random order of preference. Okay, so it's going to have random order of preference. Yeah, and our job as the player of the game is to discover that sequence with 10 questions. Okay, you get a maximum of 10 questions, and if you get the right sequence in 10 questions, that pet belongs to you, and you can take him or her home, okay, with you. Does that sound like a cool game? We can try and do that, and it'll set the stage for learning about one of the most important algorithms in computer science that are well, let's just say it's one of the most important algorithms in computer science. Yeah, sorting, right? Sorting. It's introduced to beginners and advanced students alike, right? So beginners also, this is one of the first algorithms they learn is sorting, because it's straightforward. You can do it. It's an algorithm that you can do as a human, so you can do it like we're going to play a game and do it. But as a human, you can do it, but at the same time, it is something you can do and relegate to your subconscious, meaning you don't have to after you figured out how to do it, you don't have to think about doing it, right? You can just follow a sequence of steps and you'll still get the same answer. So this game that we're playing will be like that, right? After you've figured out how to win the game, you can just follow a recipe and you'll always win the game, right? And sorting is like that, right? Once you figured out how to do it, then you can just employ an algorithm to do it for you, right? Because you can do it with your brain switched off. That's how we have sorting algorithms, right? That's how we have computers sorting things for us, because you don't need a brain to do it. So yeah. So file handling. So only one person wants to know about learning files? Learning to use files? There's only one or two. That's all?
It's like 2.
You'd like to as well? Okay, all right. So let's continue with Daniel for now. And then for when it comes to doing the sorting part, we can take another volunteer, right? Who
But
was it that
also,
wanted to go?
as a quick tip for like these long C out chains, I like to put the semicolon on its own line. So if you want to expand the chain in the future, you don't have to worry about that semicolon.
A very good tip, Daniel. All right. Yeah, I would. I don't know. You guys, try it out. Don't try it out if you want, or try it out another way. But it's useful to know that that kind of formatting is available to you. I use that in many situations, and what that lets you do, like Daniel says, is basically you can just shuffle the lines. You can shuffle the lines above it without regard without being worried about breaking the syntax, because it'll all work regardless of how you shuffle the lines.
I think what's most important is kind of understanding why Daniel is doing that, which is great that he points it out, so that everyone understands, regardless of what style you guys want to, that fits your personal programming style, you have a method for kind of being able to adapt your program, as well as other people being able to adapt it easily and readability.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's very useful, and also it makes it looks nice and nice for me anyway. All right, good. So we can continue with what's that? Is that shadow is coming? Where's my shadow? Oh, it's my head. All right, it's a there's a reflection. There's light on this wall, and there's a shadow, and I couldn't figure out where the shadow was coming from, but it's actually from the reflected light on the wall, and that's my head. All right, so you can't see it. Oh, Giorgio, you got to go. Were you the person who wanted to class at 9:30? But are we at 9:30 already?
We're at 9.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, Giorgio. Okay, well, you know what? Hey, Giorgio has to go at 9, but he wants to go. So hey, Daniel, how about Giorgio? If you're still here, why don't you take over from Daniel for now, and then you got to hand over to Flavio, whoever it is who wanted to go later, to do the sorting, the game part of it. Is that okay?
Okay.
No, Giorgio. I mean, you don't hang up yet, Daniel. Giorgio, you got to respond and say if you want to go, not go from class. Yeah, okay, all right. So pick up the screen from Daniel, and then start coding, and then we'll. Daniel, thank you.
Okay, I'll place into a new REPL.
Yeah. Put it in a REPL thing or collab it or something, so Giorgio can pick it up.
You could just share the link.
No, you can't, because he's doing it in his private IDE.
I'm just creating a REPL and pasting in it. 7.
Control A, Control A, Control V. Control A, Control V will do it.
I'm trying to Control V.
Oh, it doesn't work? Control A, Control C? Control V doesn't work? Oh, you don't even have paste. Maybe Control V didn't work, right? No, Control C didn't work. Maybe you didn't copy it. So yeah, select everything, and then
A surefire way that this will work. I'm going to use an old Linux terminal trick from back when Control C.
Yeah. So, but hit right click. Oh, there you go.
Middle click.
Great. Okay. So Giorgio, can you pick that up and
Yeah, you should just share the link. Yeah.
Okay.
The link. This link.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Daniel. Giorgio, yeah, you got to go in a half hour, so pick it up.
Where's the link? You should just share on Zoom on the chat window.
Okay, let me copy this, go into the chat, Control V, which works. I guess it's just Emacs copy buffers. I think that's the correct link. Either that's the link to join the REPL. Oh yeah, that's the joining it. So confirm. Okay, it looks like I created it so that way he can edit it now. I'll drop my screen share.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So what we want to do is basically create a file and stick the contents of this thing in a file. So in order to just, when we wanted to create streams from strings, we included S stream.
Yes.
So yeah, so what would you include if you wanted to create streams from files?
We'll do include and then the file name inside
What do you think that name would be?
.h, right?
No, hash include, type hash include.
Okay.
Take a guess as to what would go inside there. Because for string streams, we included S stream. Now we want to create file streams.
F streams.
Yeah, okay, all right, go for it. Yeah. So you see how, most of these things we don't even have to guess. Check out. And no, it's just no plural. I think it's just because string stream is also no plural, right? So just by following convention, that's the power of convention, right? So the power of convention is you don't have to think. No, there's no plural. It's just F stream. Okay, now go to your main. And in fact, I'll show you one more thing today, right? I'll show you how to create the insertion operator also, which I think is part of your it's not part of CS2A, but it's an extra credit in one of the quests, right? So in your main, where you have under the names, create an output file stream, right? It's OF stream, right? Space. And then the name of the object, we're going to just pick a name, call it Giorgio or OFS or something like that, just something that indicates that it's an output file stream. Call it OFS, yeah, OFS. And then we're going to create an output file stream using its non-default constructor, which means, remember, so we're calling the constructor of the OF stream class. The OF stream class has already been designed. Just like you create the pet class, the OF stream class has been designed. It's out there. It's right.
Another file.
Yeah, and then they gave us two constructors, or many constructors. We're going to call the non-default constructor. And a non-default constructor says, okay, I'm a file stream. You have to give me the name of the file to, right? So, and it's an output file stream. So say open parentheses, and then call it mypets.txt or something as a string, right? mypets.txt, right? Within quotes. That would be the name of the file that you end up creating.
.cst.
Well, I don't know what CST. CST is a very unique extension. I haven't seen it before. What would .cst mean?
I don't know. I thought you said .cst.
No. I said txt, text, txt.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So that's the file we want to create and write into, right? So now you see semicolon after that, semicolon, right? And then where you have the cout,
Yeah.
This statement, just replace cout by OFS and you're done.
This cout.
No, I think it's inside the for loop.
The first one.
Yeah, the first one, because that's where you're printing all the pets, right?
Yeah.
So replace the cout with OFS. No, not that. The cout.
This is cout.
Yeah. Now instead of sending it to the console, you're going to send it to the OFS. That stream. You're not sending it to the console stream. You're sending it to the file stream. So you say OFS instead of cout.
Oh, instead of okay.
Instead of cout, you just say OFS.
Oh, okay. OFS.
Yeah, and then you can also change the other two, or you can change all the other if you want. But no, leave the other couts just like that. Okay. Now, before you compile and run it, go to the console and type ls-la ls.
Oh, I can't write it.
No, you can. I'm pretty sure you can. You can't.
No.
But last class someone did. Last class someone went into this console and they interacted with it. ls-l and all.
Work
Maybe.
for me. Did you try him clicking on the console part and then typing?
That's fine.
Try hitting run, and maybe that'll reset the terminal.
I just lost the replete window. Hang on, just oh, it's over here. Okay, why is it? Maybe it's full screen. Yeah. Okay, I'm back. So what are we doing? Oh yeah, we're trying to find out why we can't interact with this window here. We found
not,
hit run maybe after run.
macOS has a POSIX compatible terminal emulator, so try launching the terminal app on macOS.
No, he's not even able to run it. You see, he's not even able to run it. So
It's not running.
Oh, that's being.
I think you got a network issue there. Just before you do anything at all, go into your main.cpp console part. Control A and copy everything into your clipboard, just so you don't lose it. Yeah. Copy everything. Command A or Control A. Is this a Mac?
Yeah.
Okay. Command A.
Okay.
And copy it into your Command C to copy it into your clipboard, so you don't lose it. Command A, Command C. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now reload this thing. I think maybe you lost your network connection or something.
Let me.
Well,
You're connected? Okay, now you're connected. Okay, now connected to the Wi-Fi. Command R to reload the page. Command R to reload the page. Well, it is reloading, but you can explicitly do that. Leave page. Yeah, leave page because you got it in your clipboard. For some reason, it seems to be very slow. Okay. Now, yeah.
Yeah, now it's working.
Now you can get it, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know what was going on there. Now this code is probably gone. You need to click here and paste back the whole thing. Command A, Command V.
Oh, okay.
Command A, Command V is safer because you can be sure that you didn't miss out anything. Yeah, Command V should paste it back.
Okay.
There you go. All right, did you get everything back? I thought I saw something
Yeah.
at the top. Yeah, okay, all right, cool. All right, now ls space dash LA.
Oh.
Here, yeah. Yeah, enter. I'm sorry, enter. Okay, so those are the files currently contained in that directory, right? So as you can see, there's only main.cpp. There's nothing else in this directory. Is everybody on the same page?
Yeah, only main.
Okay, now run your program. All right, now do your up arrow two times up arrow. No, not caret, up arrow. No, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. You got to get that command ls-la again, or ls-a. There you go. So you see now you have a file. You have a file called mypets.txt. Yes. Now you want to see what is in this file. So you can see what's in this file by just saying cat the file, cat space mypets.txt. There you go. So everything that came on to, was on the console now got sent into the file. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. I see.
right?
So
So that's how you write into a file, right? And there's other things, other nuances that about writing into a file that you can find out on your own. Basically, when you open a file and you want to write in a particular place, right? You want to go to the end of the file and write that append to the file, right? Or truncate the file and start writing from the beginning, or seek to a particular position. All those things are possible, but I don't think it's worth our time in CS2A to talk about these things. I don't CS2 anything, right? Because these things you can find out yourself. Just Google and say, how do I seek to a particular position in a file in C++? And it'll tell you, one line. That's how you do it, right? So, but that's how you do file IO, right? In this case, file input, no, file output. You can read from a file very similarly by using, IF stream instead of OF stream. If you use IF stream, then instead of your C out counterpart, you get a C in counterpart. Does that make sense?
oh, okay. So
Yeah.
we get an input file. We get an input file, but like not in the main file. Like
Yeah. We won't do it now because it's going to take up time. But
Yeah.
essentially, where you have, now that you already have mypets.txt, you could potentially have IF stream, right? IFS, and give it mypets.txt. It's going to open that file. And then every time you read from that file, it's going to get the next word in that file. Just like, previously you had a string and you created a string stream and you read from the string input string stream. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So same way, you can create a stream from a file and create an input file stream and read from the file. Strings, files, everything is exactly the same after it's been the superficial aspects have been abstracted away, right? Everything inside is pretty much the same. You deal with everything as file streams basically, right? Not as files, as streams. All right. So does that make a sense? Does that make sense? Are you guys like comfortable with what did we do so far? We did toString and serialization, and if you guys are okay with that, we can let Flavio take over, and we can start working on that game idea that we had. Meaning that in main. So let me try and think this through while you're still here, right? Let me try and think this through so that you guys can debug the thought process, and then when we have the thought process nailed down, we can go and implement it, right? So I'm thinking that you have 10 foods, and then when you create a pet, it's going to randomly shuffle the order of preference for those 10 foods. And then, and then it'll tell you what those 10 foods are in some other random order. And then you have to ask questions saying, do you like A or do you like B, right? Or, or you may ask something like, between A and B, what do you like more? Yeah, okay, I think that's better. Between A and B, what do you like more, right? And then the program will reply and say, oh, I like I like cabbage more than lettuce, right? Or like pizza more than meat, or something like that. You ask 2 at a time. And then based on the responses that you get from the system, like Mastermind, right? Like the game Mastermind, based on the responses you get back from the system, you're going to make your own notes and say, hey, in my mental model of Alaska, I had ordered meat after cabbage, but I asked Alaska between meat and cabbage, which would you prefer? And Alaska said meat. Oh, so I got to flip this, right? And then you keep asking again and again, many different pairs, and eventually you'll say, I've got it. Well, maybe you don't say, but if you have finally got the let me see. We got to figure out a way in which you finally got the answer. How do we do that? So if we say, yeah, okay, maybe when you've got it, you would say, we will come up with a different way in which you communicate back to the program. We could say, I got the order, or something like that. Yeah, I got the order. This is the order, right? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, right? And then that means the game concludes, and then your pet will say whether you're right or wrong. Okay. And does that make sense? It sounds like a good game to me. But if we play it, I think we'll find out. Once we play it one time, we'll get a much better feel for whether it's an exciting game. Yeah, I think it'll work. I think it'll work. Okay, so who wants to pick up the code? Who wants to pick up the? I think it's Flavio.
Should I stop my screen share?
Yeah, thanks. But share that URL or the link so that Flavio can pick up that.
Yeah.
We're going to work off this. All right. Thank you, Giorgio. Okay, Flavio, pick up that code and then let's run with it.
Can you see my screen?
Oh, yes, I can see your screen. Thank you. Okay, great. So now this is a game, right? This is a game. So let's go to your main, all the way to your main. And in your main, you're going to initialize those paths, right? So get rid of the OFS, output line right there, because we just want to set the paths, right? So set it all, right? So get rid of the triple click and delete on that line. Line 100, triple click.
Okay.
Yeah, triple click on that. Triple click is easier. I don't know why you guys are not doing it, right? Triple click is easier to select the whole line. Yeah, clean. Oh, I see. Yeah, clean up those blank lines. We don't want anything there. So we just want to fill up the, Yeah, okay. All right. And get rid of the population line because, this is all a game. In fact, you should say at that point where you have see out current pet population is, change that line to say, so inside of the quotes, you say, oh, hang on. We only want one pet now.
Keeps on enemy to
Yeah.
edit
What was I thinking, right? Sorry. Okay, we're going to change this a bit more. Yeah, get rid of that. Okay, we want only one pet. Okay, so just say in your main, you'd say pet, my pet, right? Where you have an array of pets, just have one pet with 10 foods, right? So get rid of line 89 and say my pet instead of my pet or a pet or whatever you want, right? Just one pet.
So every time I edit it, like this comes up. I don't know if you can see it. Like, how do I get rid of it?
Just hit the fork button. Just hit the fork button.
Just the fork? Okay.
Okay, right? Now, where's your main? Yeah, make that a single pet, not 10 pets. Yeah, okay. Single pet, my pet. Yeah. Okay. Now we want 10 foods, but we don't want 10 names, right? Let's just say the name. Yeah, well, we'll have 10 names. We'll pick up a name at random. Okay, we'll pick a name at random. And we don't want that file stream thing. It was just, practice there. Okay. Now, what we want to do is instead of pets of I, what you. Oh, okay. All right. Excuse me. We want to change the pet object itself, right? Go up to the pet class. Go up to the pet class, and where it says string favorite food. Make that an array of 10 favorite foods, right? String favorite food, open close square brackets, and have 10 in there, right? Get rid of static variable population. Let's not deal with that anymore. Get rid of that. And in fact, even get rid of age. We don't need that. And then your name and favorite food really needs to be private, right? So make them both private. No, just change the keyword public above them to private. Yeah, double click. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And I'll clean up the blank lines. And all right. So each pet has a name, and then it has a bunch of favorite foods, right? And then we're going to have to get that. So yeah, line 20, get favorite food, and get rid of that. Get rid of the line 20, get favorite food, because there's no one favorite food, right? There's 10 favorite foods. And there's no age. Get rid of the age getter. They're just simplifying the code so that we'll just focus on the game, right? No population. Hey, yeah, try this, okay? Try this. If you triple click on the line, I don't know, maybe it doesn't work. Triple click on the line. I want to see if it selects the whole line. Triple click.
Just the word. Wait,
No, three rapid clicks.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, it works.
Yeah. So if you have triple click on a Mac, at least select. Now you can hit delete. If you hit delete, it'll get rid of the whole line. All right. Okay. So you have the getter, and it'll get the name, setters. Also adjust the setters so that you don't have age and favorite food in there. Get rid of 23 and 24. There you go. Okay. And then toString, I don't know, get rid of toString. Let's not worry about that. Okay. So, and then the population initialization can go, and then remove all the references to population in your constructor. We're just cleaning up the code. So to get it ready for us to start coding this game, right? Yeah. In fact, you can get rid of the default constructor now because no, actually we do need the constructor. Yeah. Okay. All right. So yeah, constructor. Yeah, you can get that entire method can go. Set age can go. ToString can go. Get rid of lines 46 to all the way to 69, maybe. From 46 to 69, get rid of it. Okay. All right. So in our constructor, this is what we're going to do, right? In our constructor, we'll choose a random name for the pet from the list of names we have. And we're going to assign foods also, right? Random foods. So what we'll do is select line 50 and 51 and put them inside of your constructor, right? Cut lines 50 and 51 and put them inside your constructor. So every time a pet is constructed, this is what you're going to do, right? Now select a random name and set the name of the pet to that random name. So yeah, you go. So you say my pet dot name equals foods of rand %10 or something like that. Not foods, no, names.
Oh, yeah.
No, name, a square bracket, name, square bracket, rand, %. No, rand is a function call. Rand is a function call.
Oh, yeah.
10. Right? Now, why is it underlined? My pet name equals. Mouse over the underline, mouse over the underline. Oh yeah, leave it there. You don't have something called my pet. Oh no, this, I'm sorry. Yes, that's right. This arrow name, this arrow name, because you're inside the method, right? So it's this arrow name. Not my pet, it's this arrow. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and also you can put a blank line before this arrow because it's part of your program logic and not the declarations. No, not blank space. Blank line before that statement. After line 28, put a blank line. Yeah, okay. Now you've given the name. Now what we want to do is also try and shuffle up the pets. Okay, so you're gonna shuffle the pets, but we won't do it right now. Okay, so yeah, try to assign. Yeah, in fact, we need to make a change to the name of the variable on line 10. I think it's got to be called plural, right? Favorite foods on line 10. Because it's 10 foods, right? It's not just one. Favorite foods, 10. Okay. And here you're going to say favorite foods equals favorite foods. On line 31. On line 31, you're going to assign this array to favorite foods and see if the vector is initialized properly. Okay. So this is going to be an experiment. We're going to try it to see if the compiler accepts that. Okay. This arrow favorite foods. This arrow favorite foods. Yeah. Foods equals foods, right? And now you're giving it an entire, you're assigning an entire array to a vector. Yes, is everybody, no, it's not a vector. What is our favorite foods? Is that an array? Oh, it's an array. Okay, so you're assigning one array to, mouse over again, mouse over again. Okay, well, okay, so it's not assignable. You got to do it in a loop. Can you do it in a loop? So you got to loop in, you got to do a for loop, and then in your for loop, you're going to assign, this arrow favorite foods of I equals foods of I, right? So for size t, I equals 0, I less than 10.
Wait,
For this arrow favorite foods of I, square bracket I, equals foods of I. Right? Now, this is going to assign these foods in that particular order to that particular pad, right? You created a pad, a random pad, and that pad is going to have a list of preferences, which is now already specified under foods, right? So this pad, whatever its name is going to be, prefers meat most of all, right? After meat, it prefers tomato, right? After tomato, it's milk. So that's the order in which it prefers things. But we want to shuffle it, right? So before we do that, what we want to do is let's create a getter for favorite foods, right? Let's, in fact, no, wait, let's see. Yeah, okay, let's create a getter for favorite foods, right? So create a getter. I think, oh, gee, how are we going to do that? Okay, I'm going to say string, so I have to introduce pointers here. No, it's a string array. Yeah, all right, so let's try this, okay? So say string, it has to be square brackets, square brackets, space, return. No, not return, get favorite foods, and then you return favorite foods. And let's see if the compiler complains there, right? Foods. And then open, close, and then it's got to return favorite foods. Now, semicolon, and then, no, you don't need the, I don't think you need the square brackets there. Yeah. Okay, so now I want to see if it returns a pointer. Mouse over, it'll tell you what the problem is. And mouse over. Cannot initialize object of type int. Why is what? Int with an L value of type string 10. Okay, try this, okay? Try this. So instead of strings open, close, I want to try this, but I'm not, if this works, I'm going to reverse this. I'm not going to talk about that, okay? Because I need to introduce other concepts to talk about this. We're going to try this. So instead of the square brackets, say string star, space, and then star. No, the asterisk. Yeah, and then that works. Okay, all right. So yeah, favorite foods is a pointer, and it returns a pointer, so it expects you to return a pointer, not. So how do we do this? I want to be able from main to say, give me all the favorite foods, because give me all the currently believed to be favorite foods, so I can list it for the user, and then I'm going to shuffle it, and then the user is going to find out. Okay, so it looks like we will be working on this program also next Tuesday, right? Or in between, in your own time. But we will continue to do that. Okay, so I want to return, if it's okay with you guys, I would like to leave this with the pointer return there. Get rid of the space between the asterisk and the get, stylistically, right? On line 20, get rid of the space after the asterisk. So what that means is that that function is going to return something which is a location in memory. It's an address, it's a pointer, which is where the array starts, right? So that's what it means. We'll cover that later on when we talk about pointers. But just assume for this moment that when you call get favorite foods, you're going to get returned the array. right? So go to your main now, go to your main and say, yeah, get rid of all those underlined lines, right? So my pet and all that, get rid of population, line 72 to 85, get rid of all, yeah, get rid of 72 to 85. Yeah, get rid of it. Okay, and then also, what happened? A lot of these things changed. Yeah, get rid of that, get rid of that. Oh, I think because you forked it and picked it up. Okay, so you're going to have to get rid of line 60. It wasn't there before. Okay. No, line 60, just line 60. Triple click, delete, triple click, delete. Yeah, no, triple. Okay, all right. Okay, and then also, and then change pets of I to my pet. And just for name, actually, not because the favorite foods is going to be done differently. What happened? I thought we, yeah, my pet. Got set name. Where's your, oh, hang on. No. We already did that in the constructor, right? So what we want to do is simply print out. So yeah, you've done my pet, that's your constructor. Go to 58 and hit enter, line 58 and hit enter. Okay, yeah. Now, so see out, double less than, the foods accepted by, within quotes, or get the name of the pet, right? So say my pet.get name there, instead of quotes, say my pet.get name. My pet, I think, my pet.
Oh, sorry, forgot.
Yeah, dot get name, double less than, eats, space, yeah, eats within quotes, and spaces on both sides, yeah, eats. And then colon there, colon, no, colon, and then end line right there, colon, end line, at the end, you can say endl. Okay, all right, so you can get rid of that, yeah. And then the space before the slash n is useless, right? Because nobody can see it when it comes out. Yeah, okay. All right, so now what you want to do is after that C outline, just say string star foods equals, on line 59, hit enter. Yeah, at the end, hit enter. String star, space star, yeah, star foods equals get favorite foods. I think, is that what you called it?
I think so.
Yeah, okay, get favorite foods, get favorite foods. No, it's a function call. It's a method, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah, okay. So now you're going to print out all those foods one by one, because those are the foods that this pet likes, right? So inside your for loop, get rid of those two lines, and instead you're going to say cout, space, and then print I plus 1. Right, I plus 1 within parentheses, within parentheses. We want to say one meat, 2, and so on. You'll see what happens, right? Yeah, and then space, double less than, and then a period and a space, right? Double less than, yeah, and then within a quote, within quotes, period and a space. Okay, and then double less than after that again. I think it is called what's it? Foods of I. Foods. Can you hear me? Foods. FOODS. Of I. Yeah, I, and then a new line after that. No, yeah, okay. Well, I was thinking endl, but that's fine. All right, so now if you, why is string star foods equals why is it not working? Mouse over, get favorite foods, and it doesn't know that. Where is it? Go up to, where did you declare it? It is the same, isn't it? And it's public. Get favorite foods, and it's public. And here it says it doesn't know. Why does it say it doesn't know? Compile it. Maybe it's just your IDE and then the compiler will accept it. Use of undeclared identifier get favorite foods. Can someone else see what's going on there? What's the error? I can't see anything. I was maybe my eyes are.
Are those curly
Yeah.
brackets or normal brackets?
Hmm?
Are those curly brackets or normal brackets?
They look like
Not
curly.
up there,
They
but I
look
mean,
like parentheses to me.
yeah, I meant the other
String
one.
star get favorite foods, return favorite foods. So it returns a string pointer, and it's a public method. So in theory, I should be able to. Oh, I'm sorry, it is a method. Damn, what am I thinking? It's a method. My pet dot get favorite foods. All right. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. All right. So if you compile and run it, it should just print all the foods in that order, right? Now what we want to do, right? So those are tomato eats, those things. Okay. Now what we want to do is secretly shuffle it, right? After it's told you these are the things that I accept. Now we're going to secretly shuffle it. So we're going to create a separate new method inside the pet class. Go up to the pet class and say, create a new method, a new public method called shuffle favorite foods, right? String right there. Yeah, yeah. And you say void. It's not going to return anything, right? It's just a void shuffle favorite foods. Or shuffle foods or whatever. Yeah, shuffle favorite foods. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, and it doesn't take any parameters. Yeah, semicolon right there. Semicolon right there. Okay, now we're going to have to shuffle the, well, I'm sure we can implement the Knuth shuffling algorithm here. It's about five to 6 lines extra, and it'll take time to talk about. We'll do that in a different class, but what we'll do now, right? We'll just use a vector so that we can use a standard. Actually, let's try something. I've never tried this in the past. So you're going to have to bear with me, and this is an experiment for me too, right? You're going to try something and see if it works, okay? So go to the bottom in your main, no, in your shuffle foods. Create a method called shuffle foods, right? There you go. So underneath your pet constructor, in fact, get rid of the pet constructor, right? No, wait, hang on. No, under the pet constructor, under the pet constructor, you say pet : shuffle foods, shuffle favorite foods. You're going to define the method here. Okay, pet : shuffle favorite foods. Okay, open, close, and then and get into the body of the method, and get rid of the non-default constructor comments and everything, right? So that's just, yeah, get rid of that, clean up. Okay, right. So here we're going to, why is it underlined? Why is it underlined? Shuffle favorite foods. Oh, void. You got to say void at the beginning. Okay, now let's say standard : shuffle, right? So std : shuffle. Oh, no, shuffle, shuffle.
No.
Yeah, and then it's going to take 2 parameters. Those parameters are actually iterators. Iterators. It takes end. End usually is null, I think. No, I think we got to do a vector. Okay, not much is going to change. We're just going to change that. Go to the declaration of pet. Go to the declaration of pet. Change the, yeah. You have the string favorite foods of 10. Make that vector of string, right? Instead of string, make that vector angle bracket. Yeah, vector angle bracket string. Yeah. Okay. Now you want to hash include vector at the top. Hash include vector at the top. Okay, so it's essentially an array, but it comes with some other things built on top of that. Now, hang on, we need to fix one more thing, right? Where it returns favorite foods, instead of string star, just say it returns vector, right? It returns vector of string. It returns a vector of string, and no star. So it basically just returns that vector, and it returns a copy of the vector, right? It doesn't return a reference to the vector, it returns a copy of that vector. Okay, so vector string, blah, blah, blah. All right, so no viable conversion, return to all right, just get rid of, oh yeah, of course, sorry. Here, that's what you on line 11, what you have is an array of vectors. No, we don't want an array of vectors. We want one vector with 10 elements. So the vector, yeah, turn that into angle bracket. No, turn to parentheses. Parentheses 10, close parentheses. I don't know if you can initialize it there. All right, leave it like that in your constructor. Go to the constructor, and right there, where's the constructor? Pet constructor. Yeah, where before the for loop, just say favorite foods dot resize to 10. Favorite foods dot resize to 10. Yeah. Is everybody following along? Are we going too fast? Is that okay? Is the pace okay for you guys? Yeah. So and then on line 60, line 60, you're not getting a, yeah, you're going to say get vector string. Thank you. Okay. And then comment out this and let's see if it works. Okay. Comment out. Yeah. Get rid of that. Compile and run it. Yeah. Compile and run it. Okay, so it still works, right? Good. So we haven't broken anything, although we changed from array to a vector, we haven't broken anything. So now we can go ahead and make those changes we want. So we want to call shuffle and pass it, I believe the syntax is, someone should look it up and let me know if it's wrong. I think we did it once before. I think it's going to be favorite foods.begin, favorite foods.begin, open close, right? Inside of the parentheses for shuffle, right? Favorite foods. Dot favorite foods dot begin, yeah, open close, comma, favorite foods dot end. Is this the syntax for the shuffle method? Someone look it up, right? When we're coding. And I think get rid of the standard qualification. I don't think it's part of the standard. Yeah. All right. Now include algorithm at the top, right? Hash include algorithm, because I think shuffle is part of the algorithm. Hash include algorithm.
Did I misspell it or?
Oh, no, there's no I algorithm, no I before the M.
For the M?
Yeah.
What do you?
Yeah, okay. So now see if shuffle is available. Why is mouse over shuffle? Where is shuffle? Can someone tell me where shuffle is? What's the syntax for shuffle? Just open a browser and say vector shuffle, C++ vector shuffle. We'll know what the syntax is very quickly.
Okay.
We did this once before in a previous class and I've forgotten so soon. Yeah, C++ vector shuffle. Just type in C++ vector shuffle. Yeah, okay. Enter. Yeah, shuffle vector, just click that. The first one is fine. What is this? How do they call it? Yeah, v.begin, v.end. That's how they call it. And it's standard. Oh, random shuffle. It's called random shuffle, not shuffle. Okay. It's called random shuffle. Okay, now what would happen is that it's going to print those 10 lines and then it's going to shuffle those 10 lines and it's going to be a completely different order. Now, what we'll do though is in your main method, call the shuffle, right? In your main method, after the first for loop, line 65, hit enter and say, you say see out shuffling, just, diagnostic message there, see out shuffling. Or shuffled list of words. Yeah, okay, right. End line. Yeah. Okay. And now you want to copy and paste. No, you want to call. You want to call that mypets.shuffle method. mypets.shuffle favorite foods. mypets. Yeah, mypets.shuffle favorite foods. Call it, yeah. Semicolon. Now copy and paste line 63 to 65, the for loop after that, right? Now it'll also print again, but now it'll be the shuffled order. We want to, so what we're doing there, this is not the game. Every step of the way, we're just running it again and again, just to make sure that we didn't break it during the process of coding it. Now, this is a habit. In fact, it's a very modern habit, right? By modern, what I mean is in the last 20 years, which means, ever since you guys were born, right? But this is not the case that this is not how I developed my own programs when I learned to code back in college. Actually, back in school, right? Back in high school, when I wrote my programs, compiling things was not fast, right? So when we write programs, it takes a while to get it compiled. So that's a nice rhyme right there, right? And so we can't afford to, make little changes, compile and make sure we haven't broken anything. So we had to do a lot of these things in our head and say, I've now completed my program, 85 lines of it. Now I'll compile it and see, right? So compiling things and testing it out was a luxury, which you guys have for free. So most of you just take it for granted and say, well, that's what we're doing here. We're exploiting a luxury to see if we have broken anything. So compile it and run it, make sure we haven't broken anything. You need to see two lists. The first list should be the same as the one we got before. The second list should be, a shuffled list, okay? Why didn't it get shuffled? Oh yeah, of course. No, why didn't it get shuffled? It should have got... Oh, after shuffling it, you need to get it back, right? So you need to say foods equals my because what it shuffled the pets, it shuffled the foods inside of the pet, right? But it's not your vector. So here, you need to get favorite foods right there. No, on line 70, line 70, you say foods equals my pet.get favorite foods. Hit tab. I want to see if it auto completes, right? Hit tab right there. Not now. Oh, open, close. Yeah, now run it. The second list should be shuffled. So you see how what we did right now was so damn useful, right? Because we completely overlooked the fact that we were operating on a copy, or the old copy and the new copy changed, but the new list changed, but we didn't know, right? And we could have developed the rest of the program, and then we'd have unexpected behavior, and we'd be struggling to find what the hell happened. You can save yourself the headache by compiling and running often, right? Often, so that if you make something and it broke, you can fix it right there, so it won't come back and bite you later on when it's harder to fix. Bugs are easiest to fix as soon as you make them. If you fix them, it's easier, right? There's a saying, right? It's an old English saying, actually. A stitch in time saves 9, right? And it's a beautiful saying, right? Because if there's a single stitch, fix it right there, one stitch, and it's fixed, right? If you leave it, then you got to put 9 stitches, right? Because that runs, and the modern compilers make that all possible for us. Now you see how it's, now what we want to do is comment out line 72 to 73, 74, right? And then instead of it telling us, right, even 70, right? Oh yeah, 69, all the way from 69, right? In fact, cut it out.
Comment it out.
Yeah, cut it all out, or comment it out. Yeah. Now the game, right? Now the game begins, where you're going to say to the user, give me 2 foods and I will tell you which one I like more, right? So that needs to be in a loop. So you want to say for 10 times, so you're going to give the user 10 chances, right? So for size t I equals 0, I less than 10, because we know for how many foods do we have? Oh, we have 10 foods. I think we should only have 5, right? Because 10 choose 2 is a big number, and then the user will have to have lots and lots of tries before they find out. But 5, we already found out, 2 classes ago, that 5 choose 2 is just 10. So you're guaranteed to find the right answer in 10, right? So reduce the array of foods to 10, from 10 to 5. Names can be 10, that's fine, right? Yeah, get rid of the last 10. Okay, and that's 5. Yeah. Fix all of those. Thank you. 10, and then that's also 5. Yeah, here too. In your main also, I think. That's all taken care of. That's fine. In your main, yeah, 10. Yeah, 5. And the second loop also 5. All right, that's oh yeah, 10. That there you're gonna give the user 10 tries, right? So so you say C out, tell me 2 foods and I'll tell you which one I like better. Give me 2 foods and I'll tell you which one I like better. Give me or tell me. Yeah. Okay. And then colon and new line, colon and new line. Yeah, and L, right? And L. And then I think you need a period after better. Okay. And then you can capitalize the G and give. Okay. All right. Can you reduce the size of your console so that it doesn't wrap around? Okay, all right. Now you're going to read 2 words from the user, and you're going to use get line to get the entire line the user types in and split it up into 2 words, food 1 and food 2. All right. So how are you going to do that? If you don't, if you're uncomfortable, we'll walk through it. But here's a chance to take a stab at what we want to do. Other people can guide, right, if necessary. Well, why am I the person who's talking all the time, right? So someone else may basically help Flavio ask the question. Well, as he asks the question, now Flavio has to read in a line of input from the user, and then read 2 words from that line. That's food 1 and food 2. All right. So can someone help Flavio type that line in? What time is it now? My God, it's 5:40, 9:54. Time really just totally flies. If you guys, so here's what this game, here's how this game is going to work. In here, what we're trying to develop is now we're going to keep asking the user. I'm going to give you 2 foods. Give me 2 foods and I'll tell you which one is better, right? And you're going to be in that loop 10 times. You're going to give the user 10 chances. Okay, and if at any time the user responds with not 2 but 10 foods, I think that's a good way, right? 10, then you would say, okay, well, the user has probably determined all of my food preferences, and I'm going to compare it with my 10. And if they're exactly the same, I'll say, yes, you won the game. I belong to you, right? And if the 10 words the user gives you are not the same, it's not the same order as what you have, you're going to say, oh, I'm sorry, dude, you didn't quite nail it. My preferred order of foods was this, and then you'll print your internal ordering and say you lost the game or I'm not yours or something like that. Okay, so that's what we're trying to do. I think it's going to be an interesting game. Do you guys, are you interested in proceeding with this? Not now, obviously, we run out of time, but if you're interested in proceeding with this, what we'll do is develop the rest of this game on Tuesday, because we're already talking about what we're supposed to talk about next Tuesday, right? Sorting techniques. And this is, I think, is a good introduction to sorting, because it will get you do sorting on your own without using all the published algorithms out there, and get an intuition, right? I always say, understanding an algorithm or knowing how to use an algorithm is nothing at all, right? Compared to getting the intuition about why the algorithms are, how it works, right? So to get the intuition, the best way to get the intuition is to do it by yourself first, right? Do it by hand. Once you do it by hand, you get the intuition, right? And then that really sets you up really solidly for learning the actual concept later on when you get a chance, when you have to do it, right? So if you guys are okay with this, we'll continue with this exact same program and complete the game, finish the game, and also play a couple of rounds on Tuesday. If not, that's fine. We'll talk about something else. But it all depends on you. So you got to, I think, as far as I'm concerned, we're actually going according to plan. We're covering all the topics that need to be covered, and you guys are picking up all these important skills along the way. So which is absolutely fantastic. So we will continue with that on Tuesday. If not, you should let me know saying, hey, you know, that game sounds really boring. We'll do something else. That's fine too. Right. But I think that I think this seems to work so far. And I think, let me see how many more lines we may have to do. I need to do the shuffle, checking. Yeah, I think we can wrap up this game in about 20 to 25 lines more, maximum, right? Maximum 20 to 25 lines. Well, we're at 82 lines, right? No, actually, we're at 75 lines. I bet we'll complete this program and it'll be under 100 lines, okay? Remind me if it's not 100 lines, less than 100 lines on Tuesday, but my intuition tells me that we'll be able to complete this game and, you know, a playable version of this game in under 100 lines total. Okay, so we should be able to do that. And if you're interested, we'll do that on Tuesday. If not, we'll do something else, but you got to let me know. Now, since we're at the end of class today, how many students do we have? Oh, yeah, this is still a bunch of students. Tell me if this was useful today. Did you guys learn any new concepts that are useful? Was this class worthwhile attending? Or yeah, yes or no? Just say yes or no in your chat window. Yes, okay, thank you. All right. So in that case, if I'll assume that you will pick up this program and hey, Flavio, you got to make sure that this Replete link is forkable, right? So you got to post it. Maybe post it in the forums, right? Post it in the forums so people can pick it up. And remember it. So on Tuesday we'll pick it up and start coding more on with the same program. Okay. And I think it'll actually turn out to be quite a nice little game that you can play with your, you know, family members. Okay. So in fact, if you have little brothers or sisters or cousins or, you know, nephews, nieces, whatever, right? You can do this game and say, hey, I got a game. Can you come and play? Right? I bet your kid, the little kids in your home will love to play this game because, you know, you're going to say, I got a pet and it likes these foods. You can ask questions and figure out what order the foods are, and you get 10 chances. Okay. And then you can help them. And you know, imagine, right, 5 years old and 6 years old, and they're already thinking about sorting techniques, and they're trying to build out a sorting algorithm in their heads, right? So you can tell them, hey, you know, ask these questions and you can figure out the answer in under 10 tries. Okay, that's really cool. So thank you so much. I think we made some major headway today. You know, we started with a program. Nobody has written this program. I haven't written it. You know, in my mind, I had a rough idea of what we're going to do. So we went through the writing pains, right? We did things, didn't work. We fixed things, you know, looked up Google and all these things. And we were at a place where we're very close to completing the program and actually playing the game. Right. So I'm going to look forward to Tuesday. If Tuesday, this time is not working out for you guys, check amongst your classmates if a different time, maybe on a weekend, right? Maybe on a weekend, but different time works when more of you can come, right? Not just 15 or 20 people that attend each class. I actually have online students too, right? This is equal time. So maybe more of you can get together and say, well, if we meet on, Saturday at 10 a.m., more of us can attend, right? Then we'll just shift the class from Tuesday to Saturday, right? We don't have to shift it. We can do an extra lecture. And I'm happy to do that, okay? Happy to do that anytime that suits you. I'm happy to be there, right? To do the class. It shouldn't be like, this is a time that suits Foothill. No, now these days in the COVID era or time, doesn't make as much sense, right? Because if I'm on campus, things have to be, managed in a slightly different way. But right now, I have a lot more flexibility, right? So I don't have to work on filling out some forms or, work on the curriculum committee stuff. I can shuffle these things as more and move things around, create time for what we actually enjoy doing, right? As a teacher, I enjoy teaching. As a learner, you enjoy learning. So this is what we should be doing more of, less of the administrative stuff. So let me know if some other time works for you. I'm happy, right? I can tell, friends and other people too, I need to take a break to talk to my students. Happy to do that. Okay. All right. So I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Thank you so much for attending class today. I had a great time. And I hope we keep doing this forever and ever. Okay. All right. I'll see you guys on Tuesday. All right. And keep the chins up, right? Nothing can ever go wrong. And as long as you, yeah. All right, cool. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.